Hi guys, welcome back. Today I am joined with these incredible people and we are going to talk all things cyberbullying. It's awful and how the internet could really be without it. Okay, so if you guys could quickly introduce yourselves.
I'm Chessie King and I work with the cyberbullying charity Cybersmile, and I go into loads of schools and help students, teachers and their parents to combat bullying online and offline.
I'm Jamie Windus. I am a trans activist, model and writer, primarily looking at the ways in which online trans people are treated and how we can make that more accessible and respectful.
I'm Katie Snooks and I'm a content creator. I have a YouTube channel and a blog. I try and talk about kind of really relatable stuff online. I documented my acne journey and spoke a lot about how bullying online could make me feel really shit about myself that way. And I also talk about sex and dating and relationships.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Okay, so first question, to get us straight into it, is what would you say cyberbullying entails?
I think it's kind of that anonymity to it, isn't it? It's that level of language that people wouldn't use necessarily in person, but still has that kind of fire and anger to it, that is essentially bullying. And I think that anonymity to it makes people feel like it's not bullying, and then there's too many steps in between the people for it to have an impact.
Like it's not real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of hiding behind a screen, like you'd never dream of saying it online. And there's an aspect of them not finding out who's saying it and hiding behind a screen.
And it can happen in so many different places. You've got obviously social media and online forums, got the comment sections on websites.
Oh, they're brutal.
Definitely.
Never look at those.
No.
But it's so scary how anyone could be doing it. And like there have been some circumstances obviously recently that people even with large followings are taking on that persona, and it just shows how consuming it is. And we all know that no matter how many times you say, or everyone else around you is saying, oh, don't listen to them, like they don't mean it, or they wouldn't say it to your face, like it does consume you. And you can actually, well, not us, but it can actually make you a troll because you want to stand up for yourself, so therefore you are putting yourself out there and supporting yourself, but then you can get so sucked into it, and it's really scary how anyone could be doing it.
Yeah. So personally, if you want to talk about it, you don't have to, but what are your individual experiences with cyberbullying, and just a little bit about that?
Like an account was set up where they posted all my photos that I'd posted, and then they'd edited them to make me look minus 10 kilograms and said I look better like that. So they were posting side by sides and saying, yeah, you should really look like that.
That's so time consuming.
I know, I was like, good effort.
Like the amount of effort, what haven't they got anything like
yeah, it
more
might be a university
productive to be
project
doing?
or something. But yeah, some of them you just think, oh, I try and like take that power back and read out these comments and be like, you look so much better minus 10 kilograms, and like just try and empower myself, because for me, like putting on a persona just takes away that like, but that can only go so far, and it really does eat away at you.
I think mine is really bizarre because it's like so basic. Like most of the time it is appearance based, but a lot of the time it is literally like existence based. So like the transphobia is it's not like necessarily specifically body image. It's literally like your physical existence is not legitimate in any space, and that's mostly what people kind of go for. Like whenever I enter kind of gendered specific spaces, the trolling is basically like, why are you there? You shouldn't be there. Like, leave. But it definitely gets to you, because then you kind of, even though you know it's not real and you know you don't know these people, in the back of your head you're like, maybe that's slightly true, even though obviously logically you know it's not correct.
It always goes in somewhere. Like when you're reading through the comments and things, they do always say they stand out so much. And even though you might not be looking for something and all the other comments are lovely, that one will stand out and it will go in and it will stay there subconsciously, even if it's not consciously, which is so damaging.
Yeah, for me, it sometimes feels like I cannot do anything right online, and I don't know whether that's but probably because of my job and because I put my life out there for people to judge. But they always find something, and it always is the stuff that I'm already really like insecure about. So my height, for example, I'm under 5 foot. Started dating a guy who's like, after going through an awful breakup, which really ruined me, and having that online quite publicly as well, finally like fell in love. He's over 6 foot, and they know to pick on that because they know it's something that I feel really insecure about. And I guess the main thing is that they don't know what we've been through. They don't know what we've already like had to overcome personally with that. So like I had scoliosis, I really, growing up, and I had major spine surgery to help with that. And these people, like I already deal enough with the scars down my back and the bolts in my spine, let alone having to also deal with negativity, which is something that I can't help. Like I can't help my height.
What do you think people should do if they see someone else being cyberbullied, or you're scrolling through someone else's comments and you're like, this is awful, I can't believe the stuff people are saying to this person, or you know someone who's going through something that's really awful online? How do you feel you could help somebody in that situation?
I used to kind of publicly show my support by like either quote tweeting or replying and being like, you're a twat. And then what I realised is sometimes that's not helpful, because what would happen with me is I'd have people do that, and depending on the size of their platform, sometimes that's actually really not useful. It can add, even though they're
to the fire.
and even though their intentions are absolutely fine. So what I try and do is I just reach out privately, or I kind of just keep my eye on what's going on, report the tweets or the people that need to be reported. And hope that social platforms actually step up and do what they should do, because quite a lot of the time within the trans space, the reporting and the blocking doesn't always work because the platforms don't see it as a violation of sorts.
Yeah, I guess there's a really fine line between knowing when to stand up for yourself or knowing when to stand up for someone else, and thinking, if I stand up for myself or if I call this person out, am I then contributing to that kind of negative side of social media?
And the trolls thrive off it because they've been seen, and that's what they want. They want the attention. And that I used to do that, and I used to be so sarcastic.
Oh, well, thanks very much.
I was like, oh, that's so cute, thank you. And when they send your story to you, but they're thinking that they're sending it to their friend,
my God,
like,
that's the worst.
Oh my God, that orange eyeshadow just does not suit her.
Do you know, like, thanks.
I was like, here's the link. But I just think it's it's such a fine line. I feel like Instagram definitely has become more supportive their work with cyberbullying and stuff. I think that like keywords, I block out so many keywords. My keywords list is literally
same.
Gross. I mean, it's like a whole sentence of just like twat, bollock, camel toe. I'm just like, just block all of them.
Do you also block the misspellings of the words?
No.
Oh, there's a new one.
I should do that. Yeah, because there are
Professional.
Professional cyberbullying against. But I feel like we are coming together as like an army against the trolls, and also like I come at it as a really like, I think I've changed, like Jamie, my stance on it, and I'm just more empathetic of what they're going through, because I just think I just feel so sorry for the trolls, because I'm literally like, if you met me in real life and you didn't like me after spending a month with me day in day out, then fine. Honestly, I do not care if you don't like me, but the fact that you're judging me on just 15 seconds of me speaking to a camera or like one post is so sad, because it just shows you, like you said, it's so time consuming.
Definitely. There's such a disengage with real life and online life, in that I saw a quote recently, I think I posted it on my stories, that was like, if you're not kind online, then you are not kind in real life either. Like, you're just not kind. There's not two different versions of you. You can't be somebody online and then be somebody completely different offline and not think that those two join anywhere. And I think over time, I guess the more we're using it, the more we're consuming it, and the easier it is to be able to just type something to somebody in 2 seconds, I think the less empathy we have for that person as a human being, especially people with larger followings or celebrities who, you know, they have so many followers. These people that I think a lot of them don't think they're gonna see. So they just think, oh, this person's open for judgment. They're not gonna see it. They have so many followers. It doesn't matter.
And then if you reply to them, they'll be like, oh my God, you replied. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want from this?
Yeah.
They just want a reaction sometimes, I think. It's a really sad way of going about it.
My next question was, have you ever responded to a troll? Which we kind of all agreed that we have at some point. And you never really know the best way to do that, or how they'll take that, or how best to respond, because you almost want to come up with the most witty, meaningful reply. But actually what you really want to say is like, what have I ever done to you? Like, why are you writing that?
I've seen quite a lot of people recently in like the queer space, like actively opening that dialogue and changing minds, and quite a lot of people are being very open about how, you know, they get a lot of hate comments or a lot of hate DMs, but they'll actually start engaging in a dialogue there. And I think that's fine for some people, like if you have the emotional capacity to do that, that's fine. But often, like, I think what it can sometimes do is set a precedent that we have to kind of change their minds.
Yeah.
And there comes to a point with social media where, like you've spoken about previously in the series, like boundaries, like you need to know when to stop actually engaging in that dialogue and know what's best for you.
Yeah, it's not your job to educate them, and like that's it. You're challenging their opinions and trying to shatter like their perceptions of you when they don't even know you. It's just sometimes
The perception isn't even real, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously we've all encountered cyberbullying in a sense that we have social platforms, but I guess for someone who doesn't have that, how would they experience cyberbullying? So within a group of friends, someone in school?
Yeah, I used to work as a teacher in a school back when Facebook was like the biggest platform, and she came to me at a lunch break and she was just in tears, saying that there was a group of girls that had set up this Facebook page, posting pictures of her, and she showed me the page and it was just horrible. It was disgusting, and she wasn't coming into school because of it, and I just said, what makes you happy outside of school? What is like your hobby? What do you do that's totally offline? Because I didn't want to take it away from her. That's the thing, like loads of teachers and loads of parents just obviously say delete Instagram. Yeah. But that's just like saying don't have chocolate. And
I know,
I would never.
It's unrealistic.
It is. So they set up this account on Facebook showing, like anonymously showing their foot. They did like, you know when what's it called? Shuffling was a massive thing. Yeah. And I was like, right, just put on loads of pairs of trainers, because she was like, I just love dancing. So I was like, put loads of pairs of trainers on. And then she filmed like just her feet. And it was like they'd seen a different side of social media, and using it creatively, using it creatively, instead of seeing the negative side of being bullied, and it just completely changed their perception of how they could use it, and they really started disengaging in the whole bullying thing. And obviously that's not completely, it didn't help with the bullying, but it helped her mindset of social media and how she saw it.
So what would you say is the difference then between bullying and banter? Because I feel like a lot of the time people use that as a bit of a leeway. They'll be like, you know, it's just a joke, or you laughed about this last week, or it's funny. Where's the line?
I think it's if you know that it will really hurt someone and it's spiteful, and if it's personal, then it doesn't matter if you've been able to laugh about it in the past. You need to think a little bit more, and also put yourself in their shoes. Like, if you would get upset at someone saying that, then don't say it. Just think a bit more before you think.
Yeah, I guess it's also relational. If you're really great friends of someone and you have an inside joke and you think, I think it's fair for me to make this joke and it will be well received, then maybe. But if it's someone you don't really know, or I don't know, you say something completely out of line and you have no idea how it's going to go down, and you're like, oh, it's just banter, it's probably not going to go down as well.
Purely for me, it is all about quality of the relationships you have. You don't need to have loads of friends. Literally, if I have friends that think banter is appropriate, they are dismissed, unfortunately.
I love that.
From my very small pool of people. If you can have an open conversation and kind of share how you feel and if it makes you feel, and if they come back on the defensive, maybe reevaluate that relationship.
Agree. Do you think it's possible for social networks to police cyberbullying?
I feel like Instagram are trying, but it's so, like, we never knew that Instagram was going to be what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started, I posted the same photo 5 times with different filters on. I didn't know people could see it.
Creativity.
Valencia filter. I feel like they're trying, but it's such a huge scale that it's like a global brand trying to go plastic free in 5 seconds. It's just doing it step by step and using the right people that are trying to do good with their platforms. But yeah, I don't know, how would they?
I know, and we
Apart
also
from,
have
like,
freedom of speech
Yeah.
too, which is what makes it slightly more difficult, I guess, for massive social media like platforms to work out what should be deemed unblock worthy and what should be deemed you can't use our platform.
But we've accepted that it's part of our jobs, and I think that's really scary. You can never tell what someone is going through, their story, and from like looking at all of us, if we sat here and spoke to each other for 3-4 hours, we'd get to know each other more. But just from purely how we look, you can't. And that is Instagram. It's just the first layer of someone, isn't it? You never delve in unless we're vulnerable and open to what is going on inside.
What would you say to somebody who is cyberbullying? Do you have anything you would say to them?
Fuck off. Like, just go to therapy. Like, because it's more about you, and like we've said before, it's more about what you're feeling and why you're interpreting those feelings into being a dick. Like.
Yeah, I guess evaluate why you feel you need to make those comments or write the things you're writing.
Yeah.
And I guess...
So I didn't really give you a lot to go
Oh,
off
no,
there.
that's fine.
So, fuck off.
Just that, 2 words.
Yeah, just fuck off. I think also people need to be a bit more empathetic. Like you were saying, you don't know what someone is going through. You're just seeing what they put out, and actually there could be a lot more going on behind the scenes. What you say to somebody could be the final straw for somebody. It could be the last thing they ever want to read that's negative about themselves. You just never know. Everybody has things that they're going through, so everyone should be a little more mindful of that, I think. Is the internet a fundamentally mean place?
It's got pros and cons, hasn't it? Like, it's an
does.
amazing thing. It's brought people closer together. It allows us all to be more creative and learn so much, but it has a negative side, a dark side. And I don't think it obviously means to be a bad place, but sadly people are mean.
Yeah, because on the negative side, you've got things like cyberbullying, but then you also, on the positive side, have people finding like-minded people and building communities and making friends and actually finding solace in other people and being like, oh my God, this is amazing, and I never thought anybody else would feel this way. It's kind of a double-edged sword, but I do feel like this side needs a little bit of work on it.
It needs help.
Potentially.
I feel like the mean side, as much as we don't want it to win, is definitely thriving at the moment. And yeah, we need more people just like standing up for others that are going through so much hate online. And yeah, I just feel like there's so many different voices that it's almost got so saturated that you've got to create your own news feed, because otherwise, like, I literally have the number of humans have gone down and the number of animals have gone up in my news feed, because I'm just like, oh, there are too many voices.
Animals don't give me shit.
No, they don't have opinions. Well, they do know if you're a bad person. But yeah, I just think you need to take control of your phone.
Yeah.
And it can't control you, because like, even though we know the short-term effects like mental health issues and everything, we don't know what's happening long-term because it's not been around long enough. Like, I just think, like, with our brain, like, it's just eating away at like brain cells, and it's now as addictive as Class A drugs, social media. And it just shows, doesn't it, that we all need to just use more time speaking to each other in real life.
Yeah, and actually it does make you sit there and think, what will it be like in 10 years' time?
When our children are like, well, if we have some. Yeah.
When our children.
Our dogs.
Yeah. Is there anything we can do to make the internet a better place, or things that can be put in place that mean we're not having such a negative experience if we're using social media?
I think we can't always push all of the blame on the platform. Don't get me wrong, like the platforms, like specifically Twitter, needs to be shaken up and changed.
Yeah.
And Instagram also needs change, but it's a human-driven platform. And if you look at kind of the social and political climate that we're in, the conversations that are happening online, often it feels like they're detached from real life, but they're actually conversations that are happening in the world right now, and that's how people's minds are moving. You know, it's more right-wing. There's lots of kind of discussion that's happening that sometimes feel like it doesn't hit you unless it's online, and it's actually real. That's real life. So what I'd say is we need to be having more conversations offline, because then the conversations that are happening online will hopefully be kinder and more kind of fruitful, rather than just looking to social media to change what's actually happening in the wider world.
Yeah.
So it all feeds into each other.
Exactly, I agree.
For me, I think not even so much about cyberbullying, but just like managing my news feeds, like following more pets and just making my feed somewhere I can go to be happy instead of look at and feel really shit about myself. I feel massive guilt about myself when I look at profiles because I'm not exercising enough, or I'm not eating well enough, or I don't look a certain way. It's very much body image that makes me feel awful about myself on social media. So for me, it's kind of small changes in my life every day, like writing a gratitude log about things I'm grateful for and positive affirmations, saying I'm amazing in the mirror every day. And then alongside that, not listening to and paying attention and being involved in the negativity online and managing my feeds and just trying to make it like, who wants to go like wake up every day and feel rubbish?
Exactly.
No, like, we deserve so much better than that. Life's too short.
100%. So for anybody who is experiencing cyberbullying, what advice would you give to them if they're watching this?
Report, firstly, whoever is doing it. Tell someone about it, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah,
like,
talk.
Don't suffer or struggle with it in silence. There are amazing people, parents, people in school you can talk to, family. I think it's just important to tell someone what you're going through so that you don't have to feel like you're alone with it.
Because I think online it can sometimes feel like it's a bit almost childish. Like sometimes if you're young and you feel like you want to tell an adult, if you're at school, for example, like it can kind of sometimes feel a bit silly to say out loud, but it's actually as important, or if not more than kind of physical bullying or kind of in-person bullying, because it's constantly there and you can constantly see it. So like I'd say don't feel ashamed to actually, like you say, talk to people, because it's a real danger and a real kind of threat that's harming you as a person in your day-to-day.
And going home with you too. Something that could be happening physically or in real life at school is then also following you home, because it's all over your social pages, it's things coming through to your phone, and I can only imagine how like
overwhelming
that must feel.
When we were at school, we could escape the bullying because we didn't have it on our phones, but now it is just, it's there constantly. And
even when you're not looking at it, even knowing that it's happening and that it's there, even if you're not reading it,
and your brain starts to
coming
believe
in.
it. Because your brain can't filter. You have to tell yourself that is not true, because otherwise it takes it on, and you actually you're like, oh my god, I am that thing that the troll has said. Like, I did a campaign with CyberSmile where for over 24 hours I took on every troll's comment, and I edited my body with a load of retouchers to how the troll wanted me to look, and I ended up looking like a monster, which was really scary actually. But the whole moral of the story, the whole line was just, trolling is ugly, not you. So it's the whole group. These trolls, they group together. Like when they have platforms where they say, oh, this person, let's go in at this person, and they all rally round, and then they go, which we should be doing.
Mob mentality.
Yeah, and they want to feel included in a community like we all do. So they find the hate community their place to thrive. But if we can all do that with like an army of support, and we say, right, this person's getting bullied, let's rally around and help support them. And like Jamie said, not maybe doing it on their Instagram post, but going to them directly and just saying, look, I've seen that you're going through this, and look, I'm here, I've been through it, I can speak to you. And more needs to be done in schools though, just to educate people how to use the platform, because we don't have lessons on how to use social media. Like, I'm trying to include them into the lesson plan, but you just need that education. And for people like you, Jamie, who are doing incredible things, you need that education. It's just naivety. It's people that are just so like, and they will learn, like campaigns that you're doing that are fantastic. Like, you see people in schools going, oh, if Jamie's doing it, I can do it. Like, and we just need everyone to be represented in the media. And that is what's happening. We're starting to see that change. And it's incredible.
Yeah, it's so great. I also think if it's happening to you and it feels like really consuming, to remember that there are people who get you and who love you. Yeah. And I think it's important to remember that sometimes what people are saying to you online isn't real life. Not everybody really knows who you are. They don't know you like your family or your friends or the people that you really love around you. So I think if something is happening online and you feel really overwhelmed and you get confused and you're like, am I like that? Do I do that? I think it's really important to take yourself back, speak to the people who really care about you, who you really care about, to get kind of a bit more grounded and realise that, it's not you. It's, the issues that other people have and that they're going through that are being projected onto you, and that you have everybody you need around you, basically. Okay, so what do you guys think of Digital Detox Day? And how we can have this day to reflect on how we use social media and spend time in real life with our friends and family doing something that we don't often get the time to do. Are you going to do it?
Absolutely. It's magic. I feel like we all need it. Yeah. Like, I try and do Sundays, scroll-free Sundays.
I love that. Sundays.
It's so good. I literally feel incredible on a Sunday evening. I'm like, wow. I think it just gives you that time. Like, I'm sure most of us in this room, we get our best ideas when we're off our phones, and like that time for your brain just to, I feel like I've said brain loads. I'm not a neuroscientist, but
your side hustle.
Yeah, that's what I do. But I think it gives us time to just like process the information that we've like put into our head and filter through the bits that we need, the bits that are actually helping us. And I think it's phenomenal. We need a scroll-free day.
Digital Detox Day.
Digital Detox Day. A DD day every month, every week. Yeah, I'm all for it.
No, I don't think I
every
could do
day.
Imagine.
Yeah, because I delete mine when I'm working.
That's a good idea.
So like I download it in the evening as like almost like a little treat.
Oh,
that's a good
like,
little dessert.
Like what's happened today.
I do actually think that's a great idea.
It's a really
I've never
good
heard
idea.
anyone say that before, because people use the apps where it like limits you, but then you just turn the limit off.
And then I delete it before I go to bed. And then re-download it the following evening. So it's a bit annoying, but...
slightly annoying, but if your Wi-Fi speed is not quick, sitting there for ages, that is amazing though.
It's good though, because then you don't get like bombarded, and you also feel really popular because all your messages come in at once.
It's like the olden days when you would turn your phone off at night and then you'd wake up and be like, no one's messaged me. It's been the middle of the night.
I'm really excited because some of my favourite hobbies are things that do not involve the internet. Like, my idea of the dream day is sitting on the sofa with a book and a glass of wine and a bubble bath in the evening. Like, that is my ideal. Why don't I do that? Like, I have 3 days and instead I'll sit in front of Netflix and just scroll, and I don't even engage in what I'm watching. It's so frustrating. So I'm really looking forward to the day so I can fully switch off and spend quality time with my loved ones and myself.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here and sitting down and talking about this. I really think this is going to help a lot of people, and get involved, guys. DD Day is coming, and I'm really excited for you to get involved. You can check out other things about the campaign over on the channels listed, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Join us on the 5th of September and post a picture letting everyone know you're off.